Okay, let's see if it's working. There we go. Okay, so I am live. Hope the sound is good. There we go. Okay, I can hear myself. Hope everything else is working fine. Until I get some people in the stream. Okay, so can you hear me okay? Sound is good. So I press Control H. When you press Control H, you can toggle on and off the grid. Since we are doing pixel art, I'm gonna have to toggle that off and on quite a lot. So until some more people show up, I'm gonna just work on the bush here. And personally, I don't like it that dark, so I'm gonna turn up the saturation a bit. I'll merge these so I can have less layers. Tree house. It's a good idea to always name your layers. It'll be easier for you to find stuff. Usually I paint with the paint tablet, but in this case it's not helpful. I don't need pen pressure. I need it to always be 100%. I can't erase with a brush. I have to use the delete button. So there are a bunch of little inconveniences I have to look out for. I'm sure there are better programs to do pixel art in, but this is just my preference. There we go. And put that back. Change that color. Trying to give it kind of a more smooth curve. Trying to get sharper lines and edges so that it looks more clear. This kind of fuzziness does not look good when you zoom out. This is a result of me using the pen tablet to draw, and of course it had pen pressure, so this is kind of the result. So now I'm slowly sharpening everything. Kind of working in the different colors here. If you're watching this on your phone, you'll probably not be able to see it that well. I'm also using the opacity to 50% so that I can add more colors into it, more shades. When I say color, I mean more shades. Have it a bit more gradient. I may need to sharpen that out. It doesn't always look great with pixel art. It's often a better idea to have more contrast between your colors and not have too many transitional colors, too many shades. That is good when you're doing a big high resolution painting, but when it's you have so few pixels to work with. You have to think differently in the way you use your colors. Okay, I'm checking the stream just to be sure. I always worry that I might go offline if my internet fails. So I'm always a bit worried about that. Again, I'm trying to give it kind of a bit more of a smooth edge. And always kind of zoom out of your work when you're doing anything, basically, not just pixel art. I am going a shade darker with this one. Just kind of drawing an outline. There are some extra pixels there, and I will get rid of them and fill in the holes. So for example here, I'm taking those out. There as well. You want to avoid having too jagged edges, because it will look a bit squarish and you don't really want that. So something like that. I'm going for a more puffy ball type of look. I'm gonna have to sharpen that a bit because as you can see it looks muddled, and I'm gonna have to play with the saturation of the colors again. I do think it's a bit too desaturated, but then again it is a pine type of tree, so it is not going to be very saturated. And for the lighting, I'm gonna go in that direction. Get a more fresher green. Trying to nail one that would look good with that grayish green. And working with greens is not my forte. I'm just gonna leave it like that for now. And do something else until I get a better idea. Let's go with the 50. Um, 100%, change that to 100%. I have a bush behind it. Okay, I'm gonna turn that off so I don't get confused as to which part is which. And I'm gonna try delete all of that semi-transparent part of the illustration, because again we want sharper edges that don't look muddled. Of course, this is a personal preference. I have seen mods on Stardew Valley that just like look like resized paintings to really small, and if you zoom in it's like really muddled, and when you play a mod like that on your computer and you have like a big screen, it's not gonna look good. Maybe for the modder it looked good because they have maybe a different screen resolution than me, but their mods on my screen looked terrible and I didn't want to use them. So if you're making mods for somebody else, you might want to have that in mind. How would they see your work? Kinda same thickness goes in and goes out. Be careful with that, because it might look weird if the thickness of your tree kind of changes. So pixel art can be tedious if you're doing it the way I do. I prefer to draw with my pen tablet my ideas of what something should be shaped like, and then I kind of give it a more polished look, just because that's how I paint other things. But it might not be the best strategy for when you're doing pixel art. I find that pixel art is a lot like 3D modeling. You have to think a lot of steps ahead, and that's just not something I like to do. I like to draw and change and move things around and not have a clear image from when I start. I prefer more organic, how should I say, workflow. I feel that that's what works best for me in giving me the best results. And I think that's why I stuck to 2D instead of 3D. I find that for 3D, and now I see for pixel art, you have to do a lot of forethought, and you can't just sketch things out and then change them and move around and size and resize. It just doesn't apply well to this medium. So there's less appeal for me to do pixel art. Like, I would not do a video game in pixel art. The video game I'm making for myself is gonna be 2D and it's gonna be isometric. I've been doing some art for it. And like I said, it's gonna be isometric so that I can just move stuff around however I want and not be too restricted by that. There we go. Of course, this is not the final version. I'm gonna keep working at these things. As I've said before, that's how I prefer to work. Especially for organic stuff like plants. They don't have a clear shape. And they just have like rounded, irregular shapes. And of course, when you do this, you get these transparencies, so don't do it too often because you might just mess up your stuff and have to kind of do it again. I press Alt to invoke the summon the eyedropper tool, which is here. And it switches between pencil, in my case, and the eyedropper tool. So if you press Alt, that's what's going to happen. It's a quick and easy way to switch between tools, so I really love that shortcut. Was there a branch there? Like it seems to be something here. It's not very clear. So I'm using a reference I found on Pinterest. I have no idea who the artist is. Before I finish and publish this, I'm gonna try and figure out who it is. So apparently somebody else did a pixel art Ghibli Spirited Away bathhouse, and I use that as a help for me because the original illustration is just so detailed. It is a huge painting and it just helped me to kind of figure out where I'm gonna put everything by looking at this other person's work and how they chose to interpret and what details to keep. I personally really liked that flagged entrance to the bathhouse. Bathhouses often have this, and as you can see, they did not keep it, and I can understand why. It was already a little small and detailed and you couldn't see the symbol there, so I think it was a good decision on their part to omit it, but I love it and I have a different view, so I can put it in. I have been to Japan, so I know that bathhouses and shops and everything have those, so I was keen on keeping it. Whenever you draw something, it's a good idea not to do it exactly because it might not fit the requirements that you have, so keep that in mind when you make decisions as to what you should or should not keep in an illustration. And this one looks really bad, so I'm just gonna continue it here just to kind of make you think that that the branch kind of continues there because it was tapering off in a weird way and it looked bad, and kind of here you're not sure where it's gonna go. So it doesn't look great and I'm gonna have to change that. It's more of a personal preference. I might go back and see what the original screenshot from the film looks like as well to get a better idea of what it should be. Oh, why'd you do that? And again, I'm going to erase the fuzziness and what is extra. And I am pressing the shift key. It's a good idea to learn these keyboard shortcuts. Press delete to delete. It will be such a time saver for you. Here, only that pixel I'm gonna erase. Here I'm not really sure. I'll take off some more and put it back later. Again, all the fuzziness I am removing to get a sharper, crisper line. There we go. Control D to deselect. Sometimes you can leave them depending on what kind of line you want to have. Here I do want to get kind of more rounded look. Something like that. I'll have to adjust the shading because my shading is too close to my line art in terms of brightness. Oh, hi Kirani. How are you? Thank you for dropping by. I was so concentrated on explaining stuff that I didn't even see you there. I'm sorry. I am working on the bush. Good, trying to call Lewis comics. Things, so many things, yeah. I try and avoid working in the weekends just because I feel like I need some downtime and some me time. Progress, happy to have caught your stream. Oh, thank you, and I'm so glad your things are going good for you. Thank you for letting me share my work there with you guys. I know it's mostly for gaming, but I figured, this is kind of gaming related. It is game art. I feel like a pointillist illustrator whenever I'm doing pixel art. Pointless artist, sorry. Health has been incredibly busy and I was hoping that he might be taking over so that I could focus more on my shop. But since mentioning it has he's been away. Sorry. Yeah, organization stuff is hard. Like I try and be organized and share everything with everybody. I know people can't always get to see all the things they want, so this is why I'm recording on YouTube as well, so that if anybody wants to see it later on, they can. Of course, it's not as fun to watch a recording of a stream. I always prefer to go when the person is live. Not that I usually comment on live streams because it's always somebody else that does it and I just sit quietly. But I like the idea of being able to, even if I never do. Like I only say hi and then um, usually the streams that I join, people have been friends there for a long time and they just talk about their stuff and I'm like, I have nothing to add. Like I'll crack a joke every now and then and nobody will get the joke because it's I'm incredibly organized. Yeah, I try. That's like my secret power. I always wished I had like a different secret power, but I guess being organized is a good power, superpower as well. Because I see so many people are struggling with it, and I'm like, why is it a problem for you? You just be organized. Like, how is that an issue? Oh, a few days that soon? Oh, I'm excited now. I thought when you said that there is gonna be like some event in the far future. It's uh it's a plan that you would like to have and that not much was done. So a few days, wow, I'm hyped now. I know it doesn't sound in my voice, but this is my happy, excited voice. I'm not an overly enthusiastic person, as you might know. Thank you, it's okay, I'm the same way these days. Yeah, I think the weather does not help. I want the winter to end. I'm tired of winter. I don't want it anymore. You can have it back, Canada. Okay, sure, no problem. I know I was like to have kids. She was hiding under the tunnel while building. So now she's upset with me. Oh, Yeah, at least my siblings didn't want anything like that for me. Like, they didn't want my attention. So that was pretty good. Okay. What is this? That I don't even know how to translate pizza. Chot. It's like piece of a branch, a broken branch. I'm gonna erase this. I don't know what was going in my head when I did that. Okay, so I've gave the tree another round of polish, and so now I'm gonna start working on the building, because that's kind of the main focus. And I'm thinking what to do. Like, I have to do all of those lines on the roof, and I don't wanna, because I know it's gonna take forever. I wish I can like squeeze the selection point a bit more. So what I'm gonna do is create a shape. And I'm gonna move it up. And I don't want any stroke for it. And I'll use that as a guideline. And it's very blurry, which I don't like, but let's try a trick. Gonna rasterize this. I'm gonna change the color so it's gonna be easier for me to see. Hope I got all the pixels at the edge. And I'm gonna press Ctrl J a lot. Ellipse. And Ctrl J again. And it just made me many copies of the same thing. So that is Ctrl J. And it's got a more sharper look now. And I'm coloring it with the brush again. And now I have a very sharp edge I can use as guideline here for my circle thingy. This I gotta move it back down. Gonna make this red and this red so it'll be easier for me to find them. And have to rediscover the center. Okay, I turned on the grid, Control H, and this thing, selected it. Now I'm okay, so now it should be better. And I'm just gonna trace it with the brown color and do this for the extra stuff. Make sure I get a nice clean line. And I prefer to do this by hand just so I can see every little pixel. Cause you can miss them if you watch it from a zoomed out position. Okay, so now it should be something that should look straight regardless, round and nice regardless of what I'm feeling, because sometimes I think I did something right and in truth I did not. So now I'm gonna just do that edge mustardy. And I'm gonna do the bottom line brown. And now I'm gonna go in and try and make it right. Because I'm gonna have a pattern here, which I'm not sure if I'm gonna implement or not. It will be more authentic if I did, but it's just gonna be a headache for me. So I'm just gonna probably leave that for last and just do the shading and stuff like that. There we go. Should be okay. Like I feel maybe this should be like so. Just kind of how the shape is looking. And here the bottom line is dark, but I feel like how the shape is, it should be lighter, because on the downside you should be reflecting me on those jangy parts there. So I'm not sure yet what if I'm gonna leave it like that. I think it would be best if I did. And now I'm gonna use my super duper ellipse for the top part, because as you can see it's not really round anymore. And I'm not sure exactly what shape it's supposed to be. Is not an ellipse. It's something else. And the right part looks better than the left part. So often when you have this, it's a good idea to pick the best part and copy paste it over the other one. And I'm gonna polish this as best I can, just because I'm gonna copy paste it in the other side. As you can see, many things I've left them only on one side done. Okay. Something like that. And now I'm gonna erase the extra pixels. I might put them back. Not sure, depends how I feel about the roundness of this. Because now it's not, it's too straight here. So I may need to do something like this. And it looks like it has a bump. So it's the same issue here. That's like kind of a problem when you're doing pixel art. Maybe, yeah, I feel like I'm doing it worse. Yeah, I'm like, I might have to do like 2 rounds here. Really not sure. Just made it thicker. I hate doing round stuff in pixel art. Let's see if I can like copy paste that as a reference. Yeah, like how do you do spheres with cubes? Do it like this. Color. Ah, ugly color. Actually, it kind of looks better, so I might recolor this whole thing. Super fun challenge. I miss our pixel art. I'm not that passionate about pixel art. I prefer isometric. I just feel like you have more freedom to do better looking stuff. Sort of round. It's more round than the other parts, so we used to make avatars back in the day that we have were pixels. I see. I miss the Color Me collab. Like, I like that event. But, you know, not everybody can do that. And often, like, the line arts that weren't great, like, nobody wanted to color those. And I kind of always felt bad for the less accomplished artists. That was a cool event. I would have loved it, especially back in high school when time was plentiful, even though we worked and went to school. I don't know. I didn't have any free time in high school. I wasn't one of the people that had that. I had to take care of my younger siblings, so if I was able to see my friend, that was a good day. Like, if we ever had time to like go to cinema and see a film or go to a cafe and drink some tea, like that would have been an event. I will pull out my magic ellipse. I made a copy of it just because it always gets blurry when you resize anything. Control T to see where the middle is, and there we go. I'm not sure how I'm going to compile all these comics and artists. What do you mean by compile? First of all, I gotta redo the sharpness, so H. I want to make sure we retweet sharing all their work, but I always forget the names of everyone because they are so freaking obscure. Also, I think it's a challenge because a lot of people don't keep the same ID everywhere. Like I try and have the word Hisame um, everywhere I am. Like all my social media is just Hisame. No variation whatsoever on that name. It's Hisame artwork everywhere, and I have the word artwork in my name so that people remember me if they need to look for anything. I had some people complain like, "Oh, artwork is not your family name, I assume. Like, give me a real name." I'm like, "You're not gonna remember my real name. Like, what's the point of me giving you my real name? You're not gonna remember it." So yeah, I try and keep it Hisame artwork everywhere. I think my Facebook is the only one where I have my full name. Just because I have family and relatives there and they're not gonna know me by my artist name. Almost round. It looks like it has bumps over there, so I'm gonna do it like this. Even though I don't think it's gonna look as good. It's gonna look less bad. Okay, how many pixels? It's a good idea to always use the grid. The grid is your friend. Except it doesn't snap at the pixel. There we go. You make life so much easier. I'm glad that I'm making your life easier. I know how it is for me. Because you have different names for different stuff. I'm like, what account of hers am I looking for? Which one? Like now, because we talk so often, I kind of remember which account is for what. But in the beginning, it was just so annoying. And like you have a lot of people in the group, like you said, that they don't have the same name, and I totally agree that that for me is a total pain in the ass. Yeah, I think I'll go to the edge. I'll leave it like that. More or less round. But it's looking better, like it's a lot more symmetrical and round. So it's starting to look okay. I'm gonna finish this illustration before I die, like I promise. Before I die, it's gonna be done. That half looks slightly better than the other half. Put a little dot there. I think it'll look better. Sort of. How's it supposed to be? Blurry mess. Okay, I can do blurry mess. I think I should look at the original. Just a second. Spirited Away Bathhouse. Okay, let's see. This is made out of Play-Doh, not for me. This is something flat shaded. There's no line separation there. Where's the original? Oh, this is the... and now it's a GIF. Okay. Tenor. I don't know who that is, but I will leave it open so I don't forget. And I'm looking for a screenshot. And I need the rest of it. Okay. So it's a straight line and the thing goes into it. Can't wait to see your progress. Rest of toddler wants da da da. Finish up some. Okay, take care. Okay, Ronnie. Have a lovely day. Oh, for me the sun is coming out. I want to go outside now. Great day. Bye bye. And cut this. So it's kind of going up. Sort of round. I'm not sure. It's 2 o'clock. I haven't done much. Mhm. To be honest, I'm just gonna merge these and cut out the extra. Should be fine. And just delete that. And I got like an extra pixel over here. Something like that. I will have to get to it again to find out how I can make it like a smoother line for it. I need to take a little break. So I'm gonna be back soon. This should be, I think, big enough to read. Okay, so I am back. Okay, I'm gonna look at the reference again. So it seems to be like something flowery over there. This thing is just ridiculously detailed. This is one of the reasons I really love Ghibli films. They are ridiculously detailed. It appeals to the little lunatic in me that also loves stupidly detailed, ridiculously detailed backgrounds. Okay, so I'm gonna try and do a round thingy for now. Oops. And I'm gonna try and do it a bit more symmetrical. The other side looks better, so I'm just gonna delete that. Flip it. There we go. I don't know why. I think I've done a better job on the left side of the building. This is why you should always flip your canvas when you are painting, because there are just some people that are left-handed or right-handed, and they're gonna do certain parts of the canvas better than the other, so that's why you have to flip when it's something symmetrical. So if you're a beginner artist, that may be something you should have in mind. I know I forget to do, so it's one of those situations of do what I say, not what I do. Are the tips gilded? No. Are the tips upward? I don't think so. So I can delete that part. And this one. So again, we're trying to get some sharp edges. And delete anything that is blurry. Looks sort of good. Okay, so we're gonna start deleting from the bottom as well. Yeah, I guess it's almost round. Complicated. Okay, so those two are together. And again, I'm gonna delete that part and finish this part. More or less. I'll see later what I do. Roof, podium. I don't know, it's a kind of a theater looking area. So there's an arch there and some flowery stuff. And the person that reproduced it did it something like that, which looks kind of weird. I'm not sure they understood what was going on here, or they simplified in a bizarre way. So I'm gonna go more with the original. Which one was it? Come on. Where was the image? No, this one's too small. Yep, there we go. Okay. That's complicated, and I'm not sure how to. There's a lot of detail, and I gotta simplify it in a way that still looks okay. So there's definitely an arch that comes underneath that and has gilded tips. And there's like a flower underneath it. And it kind of follows the line. And I'm just gonna make everything gilded just because it's easier for me. And I'm gonna erase that half just so I can focus on this, and it should be Something. Headache. Those are the ugliest leaves ever. Don't even look like leaves. But okay. I will find a better way at some point. Leafy arch. And underneath comes the beam. Yeah. It'll be something more like this. Be more something like this. Kind of a more of a wood type of texture. Doesn't really have that though. I'll leave it like this until I got a better idea. I'll just lighten these so I have a bit bigger contrast for the wood and the stuff that I'm doing. Don't know. Oh, so I'll put this for the line art. This for the lighting. This will be in the middle, but yeah, this seems more like in the middle. And if I want the shading in that part, it would be that color. So this would be the actual color for that spot over there. Yeah, I guess this would be an idea. Lighter. This will be that shading part. And this part here would be that color. And something like this. Actually, that grayish one fits better. I'm gonna leave it like that for now. And for once, the left side is better than the right side. Okay, so it's with the podium down below as well. Well, if I'm gonna flip it, might as well do it right. This one's straight, so I can make it like that. Something shiny here, or it should be shiny there. Got it. I don't know what you guys are talking about, but now I'm a bit curious. I might need to change that corner. It doesn't look great to me, but this project is a far way away from being finished, so there are gonna be many more flips to that. I'm gonna smooth this part out a bit because it looks like horrible coloring. It's way too desaturated amongst other things. Also, I made like different shades of green here just so it'd be easier for me to tell the difference if they overlap, but I will bring them to the same green at some point. I'll use the color blending mode and unify the greens and the yellows. Because I think I mean, I kind of gotten fond of how it looks now, but might change that. Okay, the curtains. Where's my magic ellipse tool? Kinda looks like that. So again, J J J J J J J J J. And I'm trying to get this to be sharp. Just because it'll be easier for me. Okay, where is the center? Okay, that's where the center is. Scooch this a bit. This is so hard to see. But something like that. I'm gonna okay, somehow erase the extra stuff. Okay. Well, so something like that. And I'm gonna erase that part and move this part one extra pixel there. Okay, and it looks a bit more round. Try and have like more symmetrical 222 pixel length so that it looks more round than when it's an uneven number. So let's say this guy here is just 1 pixel, so we're gonna move it more like so and then erase that. It should look more even as you're going down. Be a bit more smoother. And I wanna increase the saturation. I want it to be more blue. Lightness, more saturation. Blue curtain. More like the one from below. I'm gonna set this to color and only 39%, and I'm liking it more because it's more similar to the one below. Reset tool. And something like that. Again, I'm gonna delete that part. Blue curtain up. And it's starting to look a little bit better. Kind of light is coming from the upper right corner, sort of. more like that. Looking at... I want to look at the reference. That fence over there, it's totally crazy complicated. I can't really tell what kind of fence it is. It seems to be red with golden and black, so that's too many colors for pixel art. It looks blurry on the screen now. It's gonna look horrible in the pixel art, so trying to figure out a compromise that is still gonna be aesthetically pleasing. Folks, the struggle is real. I'm just gonna continue whatever I'm doing here, and it has like no basis in what's really going on. I don't know why that is blue. I just kinda copied the one here, but it really makes no sense to be blue. It should be like a darker red. Oh, and that front part, it shouldn't be pink. Like, why? It should be pink, sorry. Like this part here. So confusing. Okay, so it should actually be this color. Okay, so I think I made this part way too tall. So I should like scooch everything down now. Although it fits with the tree, I am confused. I'll move this lower then. Oh, okay, they're connected. Oh, tolerance 1. Okay, and Control Shift V, it's gonna be fence up top. Of course, when it's so small, you're gonna get a lot of extra pixels, like it took half a pixel. I don't know why, but that's what happens. Okay, back pagoda. this here should be pink, and that should be like that, and that. Something. And the fence, I really don't wanna. Okay, Control Shift E. Ugh. Fence up top. Come on. There we go. Control Shift U, and it will change the color. And it's I have no idea. It seems to be black wood, and then and again the person made the same mistake, like making this red when it should be pink. Okay, so this is gonna be black and with yellow trims like the part below. So if it means it's kind of that same black, it should actually be a dark brown if it's the same doohickey. And I'm just gonna delete half because it's too much trouble. Excuse me, I got a hiccup. Oh. Oh, so somebody painted it and it seems like it's even, like it's not there. Screenshot. It's so blurry, everything is horrible. So I think it does have some gold trimmings somewhere. And the fence is gonna be I'm gonna make it black. Lack of a better idea. Not black. Make this darker brown. I'm just gonna make this mustardy yellow. Okay. And why isn't it coloring? Really? Oh, okay, so that's the pixel limit. Okay. Oh, yeah. And it would be something like this. And it had some red stuff, but I'm not gonna bother because it's just too much. And this needs to be darker so that you can tell the difference, that it's something else. And it's almost 3 o'clock and I'm getting really hungry, so this is gonna be the last thing I do. Okay. And it would need actually one extra more frame like that. I'll figure it out later where it should go. Looks okay-ish for now. Yeah. So thank you all for watching. Hope you've enjoyed it. As you can see, it's a very big project, and it's going to take a long time to finish. So yeah, I'm gonna do some more of these live streams, I think. And see you guys in the next one. Bye bye, everyone.